On today's episode of the Cryptoverse, Coinbase has to say goodbye to Hawaii after the Division of Financial Institutions has imposed an impossible requirement that no one could reasonably fulfill. TunnelBear is the simple VPN app that makes it easy to browse the web privately and enjoy a more open and secure internet experience. Try TunnelBear for free by checking out the link in the video description below. Hi there guys, and welcome to the latest episode of the Cryptoverse, your regular dose of news and commentary on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchains. I am your host, Chris Coney. Today is the 28th of February, 2017. Let's get right into it. Today is the last day if you want to win yourself some Bitcoin by filling in my Bitcoin for Feedback survey. Go click on the link in the video description, fill out my survey, and you'll be in with a chance to win some Bitcoin this weekend when I'll be sending out the prizes. Time now for the market roundup. Zcash comes out as our biggest winner today. There was a mild panic there when Zcash dropped below $30 for the first time, but it's now back up at $34.78. I'm sorry about that. I do my best to call it Zcash, for the American audience and everyone else around the world. However, my natural inclination is to call it Zcash because that's what it would be in English. Anyway, Zcash is moving away from the $30 mark thanks to today's gain of 12.44%, which leaves Zcash into 12th position by market cap. And the biggest loser award today goes to Waves, right down here. Waves down there in 17th position. Waves having lost 8.59% today. That means a coin is now worth 20 cents, almost exactly. Now, Zcash is primarily a privacy-focused currency. I've just done it again. And Waves is a blockchain platform that will allow you to create your own tokens and use them for whatever you like. You could use them as a crowdfund token, or you could even use Waves to create your own currency. Now, I've got an honorable mention today. If I scroll back up to the top here, the honorable mention goes to Ethereum Core because it's managed to gain a whopping 9.05%, leaving a coin at $15.80. I think yesterday there was a hubbub about Ethereum breaking $15 for the first time ever. Don't quote me on that, but that's some of the hubbub that I saw. Now, this is most likely due to a new announcement about Microsoft and JP Morgan and a few corporates starting a new Ethereum-based project. Now, I'm not going to cover that today because so far, all I've seen are headlines saying the announcement is coming today. So those are news stories about a news story that may be coming out today. Right. Well, I'm not prepared to waste your time with that kind of hype. So once the announcement is official and we have the official word, maybe then we'll look into it. Turning now to Bitcoin wisdom for the Bitstamp price of Bitcoin plotted on the candlestick chart. Still holding above the previous all-time high of 1163. That 1163 might now start acting as support. We'll have to wait for a touch on that point and a bounce to see if that's true. But right now we are trading at 1186 and 22 cents right now, obviously dotting around as I speak. And that's $11.86 according to Bitstamp right now. And that's all really I can say for today. Moving on to the SegWit forecast for today. First, let's take a look at the Litecoin network. We have 19.3% support today, a very slight fraction of a percent down from yesterday. It puts the projected number of days remaining at 85 and the predicted activation date at the 24th of May, which means it's still on target to activate before January of 2018. By comparison then, according to CoinDance, the Bitcoin SegWit is up to 27.6%, a slight fraction gain on yesterday. It still puts us another 336 days out, puts the activation date at the 29th of January 2018, which is 2 months too late. So for the news today then, we turn to the Coinbase blog. We may as well get this direct from the horse's mouth, eh? Now, this article was written by Juan Suarez, who is from the Coinbase legal team. So at the top of the article here. So let's see what this is going to say for itself. It says the Hawaiian Division of Financial Institutions, the DFI, has stated that digital currency businesses operating in Hawaii are required to be licensed under the state's Money Transmission Act. So Coinbase is like, no problem, we're already licensed in 38 US jurisdictions, and we submitted our application to Hawaii way back in 2014. Cool. But then, in September of last year, the DFI informed Coinbase that it imposed a policy which would set Hawaii apart. Coinbase and other digital currency businesses will be required to maintain cash reserves in an amount equal to the aggregate face value of digital currency funds held on behalf of customers. So, say you're attending your local luau and you hear about this Bitcoin thing. You open up a Coinbase account, as recommended by your friend, and you deposit $1,000. Let's say you buy one Bitcoin with your $1,000. This means that Coinbase would not only have to hand over the one Bitcoin to you, but they would also have to keep that $1,000 in reserve. So Coinbase are now effectively $1,000 in the hole until you transfer that Bitcoin out of your Coinbase wallet. This blog post actually refers to that $1,000 as redundant collateral. Exactly. It's almost as if the Hawaiian regulators are trying to get these digital currency companies to back Bitcoin with US dollars as collateral, which to my mind just shows a fundamental misunderstanding of Bitcoin. They're basically saying they don't believe that Bitcoin has any intrinsic value of its own. But you could also say that about the US dollar, couldn't you? Ewan goes on to say here, even if Coinbase could manage the extraordinary capital strain and the massive exchange rate exposure in this policy, it would do nothing to further our customers' paramount interest. What they're saying here is that as long as Coinbase can guarantee instant exchanges, what difference does having the parked capital make? And I know what the regulators would say to that. They would say that having $1,000 sat there in reserve reduces the risk because it's instantly accessible. Right? That's true. However, Coinbase are not exactly amateurs at this. They can access currency on the open market on demand and do it so fast that you would think they did have it on hand. But it also says here that compliance with this policy would siphon millions of dollars away from crucial operations like recruitment, retention of expert staff, constant reinvestment in the business necessary to guarantee the security of digital currencies held by customers, right? So I've said this before and I'll say it again. This is yet another example of government policy potentially having the exact opposite effect of what was intended. Fortunately, in this case, Coinbase have the option of choosing to pull out of Hawaii. So Ewan actually states here, question, where does this leave Coinbase's Hawaiian customers? Unfortunately, with no good options. We will require all Hawaiian residents to close their accounts within the next 30 days, and we will implement controls to prevent Hawaiian residents from establishing Coinbase accounts for the indefinite future. Now, Hawaiian residents aren't at risk of losing their Bitcoins because they can just withdraw them to an external wallet that they control, right? That part isn't the problem. The problem comes if they later want to turn those Bitcoins back into fiat currency. Where do they go now? Are there any other digital currency exchanges in Hawaii? Not that I'm aware of. I also took a look at localbitcoins.com to see if that was the solution, and it doesn't seem to be, because the range of payment methods on there for Hawaii are quite limited. So then I went to the old trusty BitSquare, and the only option I found there was to pay with a money order, which you get from the US Postal Service. That isn't too bad since the fee to get a $1,000 money order is just $1.60. The downside to a money order is that you can counterfeit them. What a nightmare. At the end of the day though, there may very well be a silver lining here. This may well be the invitation for Hawaiian Bitcoin owners to begin to let go of the old financial system. Almost by necessity. They can begin to stop thinking in terms of moving value in and out of the US dollar and instead put effort into transacting in Bitcoin on the islands between each other. That is, of course, if the recent spike in transaction fees don't get in the way. So thanks for joining me today, guys. If you liked this episode, hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. Please leave me a comment below with some feedback and get subscribed. And please support the Cryptoverse and boost cryptocurrency adoption by going to cryptoversity.com/podcast and becoming a patron. From just a few dollars a month, you can secure Cryptoversity's future, get unlimited access to all Cryptoversity courses, and access a private patrons-only chat group where you get direct access to me. That is all for today, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Cryptoverse. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.